Why is there a growing preference for cremation over traditional burial? This question has been on many minds as we witness a significant shift in funeral practices across the globe. In the next decade, it's projected that as many as 70% of people might choose cremation over burial. This trend isn't just a whim, it's a response to changing social preferences, economic factors, and ecological considerations. People are increasingly valuing the flexibility and simplicity that cremation offers. Economic constraints are also a factor, as the cost of traditional burials continues to rise. Moreover, as we become more aware of our environmental footprint, cremation is seen as a more sustainable choice. But what does this mean from a religious perspective, particularly for Christians? And how does this align with our responsibilities towards the environment? These are the questions we will explore in depth. Let's delve deeper into these reasons, starting with the religious perspective. What does Christianity say about cremation versus burial? This question is often asked as more and more people lean towards cremation. In the Bible, there are no specific verses that directly address cremation. However, we can find numerous references about death and the treatment of the dead that respect the dignity of the body. For instance, in Genesis 23:4, Abraham sought a place to bury Sarah honorably. Looking at Ecclesiastes 12:7, it states, "And the dust returns to the ground it came from, and the spirit returns to God who gave it." This could be interpreted as a reference to the natural cycle of life and death, without specifying the method of body disposal. Moreover, 1 Corinthians 15:42-44 speaks about the resurrection, reinforcing the idea that the physical condition of the body at death does not limit God's power to grant a new glorified body. So, from a religious standpoint, cremation isn't necessarily a taboo. Opening. How does our responsibility to the environment influence our funeral choices? In the book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 15, we find an important directive. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. This verse underscores our duty to the environment, a responsibility that extends to every aspect of our lives, including our end-of-life decisions. Traditional burial practices have a significant environmental footprint. They involve the use of land, chemicals for embalming, and resources for caskets and grave markers. On the other hand, cremation, while not without its environmental impact, generally uses fewer resources and leaves a smaller footprint. But what about the cultural aspect? Romans chapter 14 verses 5-6 remind us of the acceptance of diversity in practices and beliefs. One person considers one day more sacred than another. Another considers every day alike. Whoever regards one day as special does so to the Lord. This passage encourages respect for different funeral choices within the Christian community. As cultural norms evolve, the church is called to respond with understanding and compassion, recognizing the individual's right to choose their final resting place. Closing. It seems that the cultural shift and environmental consciousness are playing a role in the rising popularity of cremation. What happens when faith and science intersect in the conversation about cremation? At the crossroads of faith and science, we find a unique perspective that enhances our understanding of cremation. The Bible, in Job 34:14-15, gives us a glimpse into the transient nature of the physical body. It says, "If he should set his heart to it, and gather to himself his spirit and his breath, all flesh would perish together, and man would return to dust." This verse acknowledges our mortal coil and the inevitable decomposition of our physical bodies, regardless of the method we choose for our remains. On the other hand, Proverbs 25:2 encourages the pursuit of knowledge. It states, "It is the glory of God to conceal a matter. To search out a matter is the glory of kings." This verse can be interpreted as a divine endorsement of our quest for understanding, including the scientific exploration of funeral practices and their environmental impact. Science, just like faith, brings its own insights to the conversation. It offers us a way to understand the ecological implications of our choices and the potential benefits of cremation, such as reduced land use and lower carbon emissions. In this intersection of faith and science, we find a richer understanding of our choices and their implications, not just for us, but for the world we leave behind. In the end, the choice between burial and cremation is a personal one, influenced by a variety of factors including faith, culture, economics, and environmental considerations.